Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to section 5.2. We're dealing with the idea of solving by substitution. And what this allows us to do is allows us to use algebra to get ourselves a final answer rather than having to worry about creating tables or making graphs or anything like that. Okay, now these 6 steps are steps that you're going to need to know, and so you're going to need to be able to write these down. And these are going to help you solve these substitution problems. Okay, so we're going to go through a couple different examples here today in this video to help you out. And we'll start off with this first example. So what we have here is 2 equations. Okay, we have y equals 0.2 plus 50x. And then we have y equals 60x. And if we were asked to make graphs of these would be pretty hard because of the fact that 50 and 60 are really big values for slopes. So now we have a different method in which we're going to get this stuff done. So our first step here, step 1 that we're talking about, says to solve for a variable. Okay, so if we look in here, when we said solve for a variable, that means we need to get the variable alone. Well, it doesn't matter which variable it is. It can be x or y. But in this case, can you see that we have, in both of these cases, we have y is by itself. Okay, so step 1 is basically already done. So we're going to say that the variable that we solved for was y equals 0.2 plus 50x. Okay, so that was the variable that we solved for itself. Okay, so now step 2 says that we need to substitute it into the other equation. So what we're going to do is we have this equation y equals 60x. That's our other equation. When we deal with systems, when we have this phrase y equals and then we have this 0.2 plus 50x, we can substitute that 0.2 plus 50x, we can substitute that in for the other y value that we have, because we're trying to find where those values are the same, or where they intersect, or where they're equal to. This 0.2 plus 50x and this y, they mean the same thing. So now when we do this, we have 0.2 plus 50x is equal to 60x. Okay, so that is the substitution step that we have to deal with. Okay, so now if you notice, when we get to step 3 here, it says solve for the variable that remains. We only have one variable left now. Now we can solve these equations. So we have 0.2 plus 50x is equal to 60x, and we subtract 50x, subtract 50x. So we have 0.2 is equal to 10x, and we divide by 10. Divide by 10, we get x is equal to 0.02. That would have been a really, really hard number to find alone. Okay, so we have this answer of 0.2 or 0.02 is equal to x, but remember our final answer needs to be an ordered pair. So we're looking for this second value still. We've got one of the values, now we're looking for the other. That's where step 4 comes into play. Step 4 says we're going to substitute our answer back into the first equation. And what that means is we're going to take this 0.02x and we're going to put that value in for the original x that we have. So we have y is equal to 0.2 plus 50 times our answer of 0.02. Okay, so when we do that, we substitute this right into where our original x was in this first equation, and then we get to step 5, which is to simplify. Okay, and so we simplify this. We have y is equal to 0.2 plus, when we take 50 times 0.2, what we get is 1. We get 1 for an answer, and then we take y is equal to 0.2 plus 1. That gives us an answer of y is equal to 1.2. So now we have two different answers, and our final answer here, or step 6, is this ordered pair 0.2 comma 1.2. Okay, so that's substitution. Yeah, it looks like quite a bit of steps there, but this is significantly better for us than trying to sit there and do this on a graph or using a graphing calculator or using a table. Okay, so we're going to go through another example here. This one will be a little bit more challenging. We have 5x plus 5y, and that's equal to 85. And then the other equation that we have is x is equal to negative 4y plus 44. Okay, so going through our steps here, the first step we had was to get a variable by itself. We can see that this x is by itself, so the variable that we have alone is x. So we have x equals negative 4y plus 44. So now the other equation comes right below it, and you have 5x plus 5y is equal to 85. So now we said that this x equals this negative 4y plus 44, and x are the same thing. So we're going to put that into where this x is. Now here's where we need to make sure we pay attention. The only thing that changes here is the x. We write out our 5 because it's right before the x. We have negative 4y plus 44. And then we have plus 5y, and that's equal to 85. So now we need to use the distributive property, and we end up with negative 20y plus 220 plus 5y is equal to 85. Now our variable is the only variable we have is a y, so we solve for y as necessary here, and we end up with an answer of y being equal to, when we get through the math here, y is equal to 9. Okay, so we had two variables on each side. We combined them using their sign, and then went to a two-step equation. We had y equals 9. So in our ordered pair, 9 comes second, but we need to get an x value. So I go back to this original equation. X is equal to negative 4 times 9 plus 44. And we simplify this out, and we end up with x is equal to 8. So our final answer is x equals 8. Okay, so this is solving by substitution. Remember, we need to get those steps written down for you, and you need to get those kind of committed to memory and practice this. You're going to have a lot of practice getting this stuff done. So the only way we can make this better is by doing a lot of practice. If you have questions, let me know. Have a good day.